My lords, ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome back to Hard Mode Transport Fever 2 as we continue our Hard Mode series. Starting the episode, just taking a quick look at the port here that serves the grain farm just outside of Portishead. As you can probably deduce with your own eyes, there has been some expansion in terms of assets made to this port here, just to make it a little bit more lively and a little bit more, I'd like to say, realistic. A lot of these are all just various assets that I've found through the various mods that I've just put down just to breathe a bit of life into this port. So it's something interesting, shall we say, to look at when we're nearby. One of our ships has just left there with a full load of grain to head up to the distillery up by Yoxall. So shall we bring up the user interface and check our current state of affairs? Here we go. So we've got £13 million in the bank and a cash flow of £3.5 million. Let's quickly bring up our line statistics window. As we can see, every line is profitable, some more than others, but that's to be expected. Obviously, your inner city buses are never going to be big money earners, but as long as they're making a profit, I'm happy with that. As we can see, the food production shipping line is nice and profitable. And that's good to see, because even though it's got a very high frequency, 11 minutes, well 10 minutes 32 seconds, it's still making us a decent amount of money. The eagle-eyed amongst you here may notice a slight change on our stone freight line, and I've changed the locomotive and removed one of the trains. So let's go ahead and we'll jump over to this train and have a good look at him. So we have the, what train is that? Is that AE47? Yes. So this is our first electric train locomotive on our network. I've replaced the two, I can't remember what the original trains were now, AE45s were they, I think. So the two trains have been replaced by one big, long train. As we can see, it does have to wait to fill up on the platform, and it does overstretch the platform as well, which I'll probably deal with. Obviously, it doesn't make any difference to gameplay, but aesthetically it just looks a bit weird when they're managing to load these rearmost wagons away from the platform, so I'll sort that out at some point. And if we look at this train, let's go to the train details, and its power, as we can see, it gets up to speed very, very quickly, 72 seconds, and when you consider the length of this train, that's quite remarkable. I have ran this with the date paused, obviously, for about 5 or so minutes, let it do a couple of complete journeys, just to ensure that this brickworks is not exhausting its supply of stone before the next delivery arrives. And it doesn't seem to be. It gets to about 1 or 2 just as this train was pulling in. So in terms of supply, we're doing pretty well there. This is getting all it needs to get, and it's not causing any lulls in production as it waits for another train load to arrive. So that's that. Everything else is ticking over quite nicely. I will do some digging into the line rates and efficiencies and tweaks and so forth in the near future, but for now everything is working okay, so there's no desperate need to make any changes yet. So what we're going to do today is we're going to continue on with this passenger line that we started at the end of the last episode. If you remember, we ran out of time just as we hit Nuneaton. So we have the rail infrastructure in place. It's all signalled up, as we can see. We have the station in Portishead and one over here ready to connect into Nuneaton. So before we start our train purchasing, we want to make sure we have an active connection to this station. Otherwise, we're not going to have much passenger generation out here at all. So what we're going to need is a bus and tram station. And I'm going to say we'll have a 4-platform, fully electrified, 30 metres. And if we can get this to have a direct connection to the station, which we certainly can, if we try and get that nice and central, sort of like that, looks central enough to me, I think. And we'll just name this Nuneaton Station Interchange. And we'll also spell it correctly. There we go. So now what we need to do is give this a road connection into Nuneaton itself. and then think about putting some bus or tram stops in Nuneaton. And I think what we'll also do is we'll put down a central passenger exchange in the town somewhere, and then we'll just have a direct, or at least for now, one direct service from the middle of town out to the station, and then we'll have from the station in the middle of town a few routes just servicing the wider town itself. So in terms of location for the central station, I'm going to say we'll go somewhere like this. It's not quite central in town as we can see, but it's a nice area for us to work. We've got a nice natural space, and it leaves us plenty of room for expansion to the left and to the right. So if we put that something like there, that's roughly central, or would be if this road was completed. And in fact, let's just help them along their way there by completing this road. There we go, just a nice simple straight connection to there. And then what we want to do is to connect from our station entrance to the road on that side. And then we need another station entrance on the opposite side, and again whack in a road connection just there. There we go. So before we do the link up to there, obviously we can't do it yet anyway because there's no road connection, let's just put down a quick bus service for Nuneaton, or maybe we'll go for 2 bus services for Nuneaton. So let's go to bus tram stops, and our first service can run out and service all of this area. We want to make sure the buses don't really stop anywhere near our food delivery freight line. That way there's not going to be any of that cross interference or cross contamination, if you will, between the 2 services. And we'll have our bus line run in a simple loop like that. So we'll set that line up first of all. So we're going from Upper Nuneaton, we'll rename that in a moment, Church Street to Park Avenue to Chester Road. Yes, I know it's not connected. I'm aware of that. I've not got to it yet. Queen Street, London Road, and then Church Lane. So there we go, and this will be Inner City Bus, Nuneaton number 1. Nice and simple. We'll keep the pink coloration. And I think for now that's all we're going to need, just the 1 bus service. It's not a very big town at the moment. There's no point being overkill on this. We are on hard mode, so we want to make sure everything is as profitable as it can be, and having another line just for the sake of it is not the most efficient thing to do. Okay, we need a depot up here, which we'll slot in on the outskirts of town, something like that, and then we can purchase our buses. Now we'd had a look. Oh, is that a new one? I think it is. It's slower, but it does carry more, less emissions, but a slower loading speed. Well, I'm going to stick with the Gaggenau C40. I don't know if we're going to need the full 11 capacity on this bus line, to be honest. And it's also marginally cheaper to operate as well. And to begin with, we shall go for 2 of those. We want to colour those in the same colour as the line, which is this pink colour. Only colours in the engine bay, as we can see there. And set them on their way. And then what we want to do is put in a connection out here. And it's probably not a bad idea at this point to upgrade this road to a higher capacity, higher speed line. So at the moment, I guess this is 37 miles per hour. We can bump that up to, if we could squeeze it in, we could go straight to 50 miles per hour. There we go. Yes, that's fine with me. We have traffic lights, which I don't think we're going to be able to remove because we have the direct connection to the depot. But they shouldn't cause too much of a traffic issue. And then what we'll do is we'll get a connection out to our station up here. And we'll use the country roads for this. And then connect into our main connection there. We can remove those traffic lights, which we will do. And then we can now put in a direct connection up to Nuneaton Station. And I dare say we'd have this as a tram line connection. So let's go back into this. Tools, we want tram track and catenary, yes. So you're going to come out this way. And then you're heading straight up here. And into our station exchange. And then you will head back in. and we'll send you down this way on your return journey. So you have a pass-through station rather than turning around. This will turn around up here, but that's okay for the time being. And this is just going to be a point-to-point connection with no stops in between. But we're going to want a waypoint around here somewhere, just to make sure our tram does come back down this way. So let's do that. Now we could use this pedestrian crossing as a waypoint because we have a crossing just there. There we go. So now we can set up this line. So we're going from Nuneaton Station interchange to the waypoint and into Upper Nuneaton. Still need to rename that. Must remember to do that. We will keep the orange colour. It keeps it nice and separate from the pink bus service. And this will be our inner city metro Nuneaton Station. There we go. To get that working, we're going to need a tram depot as well, and we can have that out here, way out of the way of this road. So let's put that down now. Tram depot, catenary, yes. And you can just slide in there. No traffic lights on that junction, so that's fantastic. And for this, I'm going to say, for the time being, we'll have 2. It's probably going to operate at a loss for a good while until we have passenger pickup over here. But that's fine. Not the most efficient way to do it, but it's what I've gone ahead and done anyway. So now that that's set up, let's just first of all rename this before we forget. Get my words out. Nuneaton Central. There we go. We need to make sure we have a connection in here. And another thing you may notice is the road in Portishead, the main through roads, have been upgraded to 3-lane, 6-lane, 3 in each direction, high capacity town roads. It needs doing at some point, so I've done it nice and early while it's still relatively simple to do. So that's going to help traffic flow a lot better. And then what we want to have now is just a direct connection again, just a loop system from Portishead Exchange up to Portishead. We'll call that station transfer, I think. And you are Portishead, yes. So this would come up here, deliver the passengers, pick up any who just disembarked, and then head back down this way and back into the Portishead Exchange. We have waypoints already down here, so we don't need to put any more of those in position. Is this all electrified? It is, so that's fine. So this shouldn't be a problem to set up now. It should be a straight shot. So we want new line, and we want to go from Portishead Exchange to the Portishead Station transfer, back down via... Oh, you could go down there as well, couldn't you? Because this is all electrified. Well, in that case then, let's put in a second waypoint just... Oh no, it's on the wrong side of the street, so that's not going to work at all. Okay, so we're going to need another waypoint along this street somewhere. And I think we'll have it... Well, this isn't electrified, so you can't go down there, so we'll have it here. So, waypoints, what do we want to use here? Oh, we could use a tram. There we go. So, return to the line. After the station, but before the third waypoint, head there. And that should be working all fine. Make sure you're using your own platform in Portishead. There we go. Yep, that's going to work just fine. We'll keep the brown colour, why not? And once again, this is Inner City Metro, and this is Portishead Station. Protis? No, Portis. All at the spelling errors today. There we go. We have a tram depot somewhere. Where's the tram depot? Oh, it's over this way. There's the tram depot. And we'll go for 2 again. Again, it might be a little bit overkill at this early point, but never mind. Inner City Metro to Portishead. There we go. So now that that's done, we can actually set up the first passenger line, can't we? So, new line from Portishead over to Nuneaton and back again. And that's all you're going to be doing for the time being. I've started work on the line out towards West Ham. It's not completed yet. We get as far as, well, where the tram depot is. So we'll finish that at some point. And this will be... what do we want to call this? Intercity... This will only be a shuttle service. Intercity shuttle, Portishead. Okay, now we can use our new train depot here. Purchase our train. Quite tempted to go for the Flying Scotsman, but at that cost I'm not sure that we're going to see a profit on it. The Crocodile is arguably too slow for passenger service. The A35 would save us 400,000 per year. What do our passenger wagons do? What speed? 62 miles an hour. So even if we were to use a Flying Scotsman, we wouldn't get full speed out of it anyway. So we're limited to 62 miles per hour. In that case, then, I say we go for the A35. Once we get the highest speed passenger wagons, then we can think about upgrading. It would be nice to have the Flying Scotsman on early, but we don't want to have it on for the sake of it if it's going to tank our earnings. So this one is a lighter one, carries less. This one is 5 ton heavier, but does carry an extra 3 passengers, and it's only an extra 30,000 more expensive to run per year. I think we'll go for this, the Donnebusch. Not sure if that's a correct pronunciation. And let's add a couple on, and we'll keep an eye on this. We want to keep this at a decent speed. So what's that? That's 3. If we can keep it below, say, 100 seconds for its speed, to get up to speed, I should say, is that going to be a bit too much, do we think? I think so. Should we just go for a small train to begin with? Yeah, we'll go for a small train to begin with, and once the passenger pickup starts to develop, we can look at expanding the train. So we'll go for that. You are green, and you are going on the inner city shuttle from Portishead to Nuneaton. Hopefully now we'll start to see a bit of passenger generation. It might take a while for it to filter through, but we'll keep an eye on it. Nothing yet in Nuneaton, although our buses are certainly picking up straight away. We probably want to get rid of these small capacity roads that we have in Nuneaton. So let's go to Town Road, Medium Street, and let's just upgrade these and keep everything. So it's going to cost quite a bit of money to do this, but it's a worthwhile investment. And we'll have this main street as one. These can remain small capacity, that's fine. And it's also tempting to put a large street straight through the middle, and a large street heading out here to this connection over to Market Raisin. But we don't really have the money to afford to be able to do that at the moment, so we'll do that a little bit later. No passengers yet. Is that the same in Portishead? Indeed it is. Do we have anybody? Nope, not even anybody wanting to take the metro out there. What do we have here? The Type T1 tram. Oh, well, let's have a look at that and see if that's worthwhile putting in. So our trams at the minute are the CE22 SCHST. Not sure how you would pronounce that. If we go to replace, so 25 miles per hour, 21 capacity, 4 times loading speed, 69 emissions. So slower loading speed, half the loading speed, but a little bit quieter on the old emissions. 2 extra passengers, but a big bump up in speed, and that could be very useful for our intercity connection over to West Ham. What's this road speed out here? There is a way to check. Is it that one there? Okay, it's only your tracks, not your streets. That's disappointing. Well, these are the medium capacity country roads, so we'll just have to check it manually. So these do 62 miles per hour. So our trams could use that extra speed boost as they're travelling between West Ham and Portishead. And for that reason alone, I think it's probably a worthwhile investment swapping these trams for the newly unlocked Type T1s. We can just about afford it. We're still making decent money. Let's go ahead and do it. There, we've already, you might have noticed that the kick up in speed has already taken effect. There we go, 30 miles an hour and still accelerating. So that's going to get us between our two cities a lot faster. I dare say There isn't any need to have the highest speed on the station transfer trams at this point. Okay, we have our first passengers. You know what, I'm actually going to undo what I said and actually only have one tram running this system for now. We can expand it later, and we'll probably have to do the same over here in Nuneaton as well. There you go, you don't have anybody on board, so we can safely get rid of you. And you will have people on board. It'll only be one for now, but we're getting that pickup. The inner city bus in Nuneaton is proving extremely popular already, which is very good to see. So we might need some more buses on this already. So shall we go ahead and add just a couple more on? We have 2 at the minute, let's just add a third. Again, we don't want to oversaturate it and go overkill, especially not on hard mode. On medium it's a bit more forgiving, on hard you do want to be very careful about all of this. Oh, here comes our train. Let's just have a quick look at this train as he heads into Nuneaton. So 62 miles per hour, so a nice speedy train. Obviously the Flying Scotsman would have probably hit his speed a little bit sooner, but the increased cost and the lack of passengers at this point in time really didn't justify the extra maintenance fees we've been paying for the Flying Scotsman. But I am very sure, in fact I'm very confident we will see the Flying Scotsman at some point in this series. No doubt about that. But until things pick up, it would just be a complete waste of money. And as you can see, our cash flow is dropping a little. Now that's primarily because there are times when our food production shipping line does run into negative. It's only just negative, as we can see, so it's not too alarming, but it's gone from about $1.5 million to negative 5,000. Now I think we could afford another ship on this route, and I'm going to go ahead and say we'll purchase one. And if we can bring, what's our current line frequency on this line here? Well, if I click the right thing, I'll be able to find out. 11 minutes. So we have a ship arrive at a port every 11 minutes, which is just under once per year. So yes, how many do we have running at the moment? We have 6. So I've already expanded the amount of ships. I think we had 4 initially, so I've already added an extra 2 on. As you can see, these are the 2 that have been added on because they're in better condition. So we'll hold off on that for now. Ooh, we have our first passengers over here in Portishead. First 6 passengers. I dare say this is going to kick up in popularity rather quickly, and it's not going to take us long before we're having quite a lot of people travelling between Nuneaton and Portishead. Now this bus service is crazy popular. I'm quite blown away by how popular this is proving already. Now I am aware that a lot of the crowding at this bus stop is just because unless anybody's going to get off here, there's no space for the people to get on. Let's just see what happens here. There you go, you see. I think one person... Oh no, we've got a couple disembarked. Looks like 1, 2, 4 disembarked. So we're not eating through these waiting passengers as quickly as we'd like because of the capacity of our buses. Now there's not much we can do about that. We've only got small buses at the moment. Although perhaps on these buses it might be an idea to go for the larger capacity Daimlers. We sacrifice some speed, but the extra 3 passengers per bus might just get through our backlog a little sooner. As you can see, it's now getting even busier and busier. Let's do that. Let's see how these fare. So they're going to be running a little bit slower, which is going to harm the frequency, but that might be offset by the increased capacity, so our rate might not be too badly affected. We'll keep an eye on that, let it bed in and see what happens. So I guess did you pick anybody up in Nuneaton? I don't think you did, no. Here are your maiden passengers waiting for you here at Portishead. Well, while that's all bedding in, we're close to being able to connect into West Ham, but we are a bit tight on the old funds. And let's just zoom out just a touch so we can see where the line might head off to after West Ham. Well, I guess we'd have a line up to Rothbury and also a line out to Swinton. So we'd want our station running at this sort of angle. And we could have it right here, because this road could be connected into this road, and that would give us a nice connection for our station just here. Let's have a look. Passenger station. We'd want large building sizes, because West Ham is going to be one of our larger towns, I imagine. And we would want, I'm going to say 4 tracks. Canopy length, we want long, high speed. Catenary, yes. So if we were to have it, like I said, somewhere like this, then we'd be in a prime position for our tracks to continue onwards towards Swinton and up towards, what was it, Rothbury. And we'd be in a good position to meet up with our train line that has already been laid in ready, just behind the tram depot there. So let's put that there. It's going to cost $1 million. Our cash flow's back up to around $3 million, which is good to see. And what we're going to want is, first of all, just to smooth out some, or level off, this terrain here, so it's at the same height as this station. There we go. And then we can just very gently smooth it there, so we don't have the ridges at the end of the station entrance. And now we can put in our station. Let's just go for 2 platforms to start with. And if we were to have that just there, with the extra street exit just there, and then a connection here, we could delete some of this. Oh, it's going to cut. Oh, well, we'll do that anyway, yes. So we've had to remove a house there, which is unfortunate, and probably unnecessary expense, if I'm honest, but an expense we've just had to incur. And we'll connect him to there, and to there. And then we want a tram line down here, and down here. This is all electrified because of our intercity metro. So our trams would head up here, drop off, pick up, before heading down and around and in. We need an extra platform here because all our platforms are occupied. In fact, no, we don't. We have a spare platform this way. So yes, our tram would run this way through. So let's electrify these roads around here. So we want all this to be electrified, as well as this down to there. Now we could send this tram this way, like this. And it's probably worthwhile idea in that point to upgrade that to a medium capacity street for the increased speed bonus that provides. And now we can set up this line. So we want to go from West Ham Annex via that waypoint to West Ham Sidings, that will be renamed, and then back in down there, and that's doing what we need it to do absolutely perfectly. Happy with that. So this is Inner City Metro West Ham Station. So we're not going to buy any trams for that yet because there's nobody going to be wanting to travel up here. Let's just turn off the expenses. There we go. But we can now start connecting in this line, and then we could... Oh, we got some nice passenger generation here on the Inner City Shuttle already. 18 out of 34. Only one waiting at Nuneaton, but that's okay. Plenty of people wanted to head to Nuneaton though, which is good to see. In fact, we have quite a few passengers on their way in. So that's just made us 242,000. Hopefully he won't... Oh no, these have missed the train. Sorry about that. Never mind. He'll be back soon. Yes, we need to concentrate on getting this connected in as well, so let's do that. So we want to keep this nice and straight, just so that our diamonds are as straight as they can be. And we'll put the diamond like... Let's go for 70 miles per hour. There's not really any need to be any faster than that approaching a station. And we'll stretch you out just to there, just so we can have our diamond in the same place. And at that point, these lines will then connect into these two lines here. 70, there we go. Perfect. Now, we're probably going to want to relocate our tram depot because it's right in the way of where our train line is about to come. So let's just demolish that for now. It's going to cost us a bit of money when we relay it, but that's fine. And we also want to decide, do we have the... In fact, no, we won't have the train line bridge over this. The road will bridge or tunnel over or under the train line. For now, it's going to be a level crossing. There we go. Yep, keep that nice and flat. Fantastic. And then this should... Oh, we have a bit of slowdown there. Okay, so what we'll do, we'll take this back. That gives us a better run in, and we don't have any unnecessary slowdown there. Not that our trains are capable of doing 186 miles an hour at this point, of course, but at least when they are able to, they don't have to slow down unnecessarily. We have a connection. Yep. So we'll sort out this road very shortly, but for now we want to get these lines connected into this main passenger line as well. So what we'll do, in fact, let's take it up here, and we'll put in a small run of track just there. That's a bit weird. That's what we want. There we go. And then this should give us a much better connection. Some slight slowdown there. Let's try and avoid that if we can. You don't really have to go to this, to the nth degree like this, but I like to. How does that look? That's a lot better. 186 miles per hour. And into there. So we can't join in before the level crossing, so we'll do this afterwards. But we want to do it before this line access here. And hopefully we can have a decent speed on this. Where's the switch? There's the switch. Okay, so we do slow down, although 70 miles per hour isn't too offensive. There we go, that'll have to do. Very good. As I said, this road will be changed. Could we afford to do it now? I think we could. It's going to disrupt our brick delivery line, so we're going to have to pause this. And then we're going to have to chase this truck forwards off of the train lines. And chase him all the way down here. And if we go to... Yes, right about there. And then what we want to do is go to country roads, 50 miles an hour. We don't need any of this gubbins out here. Although we will need a tram line because we need to put our depot back in. And if you start heading downwards, we should be able to get a tunnel in here. Hopefully. There we go. But we don't want to drop you too far down. Let's try there. And then if we go level, will you tunnel underneath? Yes. Perfect. And then you're only heading to West Ham, so we can bring you off this way. Where can we get a nice connection? Can we come out here like this? Like that. And then would you connect in? Oh god, that just looks... Do you know what? I'll take that. Because we can just paint in this with grass and just take the edge off this very angular cutting that we've created. So now we can unpause it. Our trucks can continue on their routes. You're going the wrong way now, so let's just reverse direction. No. There we go. And we'll just spend a little bit of money here. Just to soften... Oh my god. Oh god. God. Oh my life. That is... Oh my word. What have I done there? Oh god. It's just... It's all gone wrong here. There we go. And then blend that off. Why is it doing... Why is it being so strange? That is utterly, utterly bizarre. Do you know what? I'm getting rid of all of that because that terraforming is just disturbing. Flatten it all back off. What a waste of money this is. Luckily we still have decent cash flow, but it's not the point, is it? Right, we're going to have a bridge over this instead. If you're going to be silly buggers, we'll bridge over. Nope, that's too low. There we go, that's better. What's the speed on this bridge? We want Box girder bridge, no. What bridge would we like? That one with, say, that. No, because you're floating, which is strange. Maybe we'll just go for the default iron bridge on this. There we are. That's better. You got good, just about got good clearance over the catenary there. And then what we're going to do is reset that to ground level, connect into there, and then bring this down. We could probably come down at a gentler gradient, sort of like that medium gradient. Have this as earthworks. There it is. And then connect in like that. That's all good. And we'll do the same on this side. Yep, a bit of a gentler slope there. Earthworks, and then you should be able to now connect into there. Perfect. So that's the line re-established. So our trucks are now happy bunnies once again. Don't need the bus stop. The bus stop? What? We don't need the traffic light for that. We also don't need to pause it. Let's restart the game. Now we can smooth this off without it being weird. There we go. That's better. And that prevents any sort of interruption to our passenger service, or or more likely our passenger service no longer interrupts our delivery line. We're going to need to put the depot back in, and we'll put it just down here, I think, so we'll have a connection. It can be a slow road, it doesn't really matter for this. They're not going to be using it very often. Electrified tram line, and we'll just do it at this point here. Come out nice and straight like that. Buildings, tram depot. Okay, you're going to extend into the ocean, into the river. Oh no, just, we can squeeze you in just about. And then just do that there. There we go. So now we have our connection into West Ham as well. We have our crossing diamonds. We don't have any signals down here yet, but we can do them very quickly using the auto signal tool. Which one were we using? They were the UK4 aspect, I believe. One way, yes. Auto signal, yes. Signal spacing, I think we went for 400 meters. Is this all electrified? It is all electrified. And we'll have our first signal, say, there. And that's going to populate the entire line, at least until this junction anyway. And then this signal will start from this one, because we don't want it too short to that junction. And we'll manually put one in to protect the junction. So that's all that. That's all good. We could have two-way signals here and here. And there and there. That's fine. Yep. So we need to just signal the rest of this track. So we'll have a one-way signal without auto signal just there for protecting this junction here. Likewise there. And we want one just there. It's a bit short, but that's fine. In fact, yeah, there's no need for that one. That signal there will serve just fine. And we don't want any signals along this stretch here, because the trains could overhang and block anything coming this way. Not that there should be anything coming that way, but why give it the opportunity? They're fine. And then we just want clearing signals for the junction heading this way without auto. In fact, yes, we could have auto signal now. But we don't want to leave them too short that they could overhang. So we'll have one there and there. Very good. Auto signal, no. Yes. Auto signal, yes. There and there. So the signals are going to be offset, but that's okay. But if we want to have a nice collection, we could do them manually just here. So they're not going to have the 400 meter spacing, but it's fine. And then, as per usual, just before the diamond, we could have some two-way signals just to allow our trains to approach the diamond and get off the platform. There we go. And we could also actually have some one-way signals there and there. That brings our trains right up to the junction, or to the diamond. Passengers are looking very good there at Portishead. Oh, that's the trains just left. Almost a full load, so that's good to see. How's the bus service? Okay, so we have now eaten... Oh, no, we haven't. In fact, it's not got any better. It's got worse. So let's go ahead and chuck one more vehicle onto that line. I'm going the wrong way. I want to go back to Portishead. Now, what we could do is we could have a line out to West Ham from Portishead. Or we could modify this train so it hits Nuneaton, Portishead and West Ham before heading back. That would be cheaper because we wouldn't need 2 trains. We could just use 1 for now. But we will need to put a tram service on for this, which we can do straight away. We have the line set up already. It's just a case of buying the tram. So we'll do that. And we'll use the... We could just stick with the CE22s for this. Just one of them. And you are the purplish sort of colour on the inner city metro to the West Ham station. And what we'll do, we will just amend this line so it's no longer going to be an intercity shuttle. This will be a placeholder name, mainline. And it's just going to be mainline for now until I can think of a better line name. So let's now manage the line. So you go Nuneaton back to Portishead. Yes, I know, but I've not finished yet. And then to West Ham, then to Portishead, then to Nuneaton, then back to Portishead. And we could have them use different platforms at Portishead. So on your way to West Ham, you want to be on platform number 2. There we go. And there's no need for them to use the diamonds at all on either side of this platform. And we'll see what that does. So everybody's still going to Nuneaton, which is understandable. Nobody has had time to amend their travel plans to head out to West Ham, but it shouldn't take too long. And there we go. So we'll see how this line beds in. How are we doing out here? So a lot of people are using the metro to Portishead station. I think for now we're okay with just the single tram running that line. How's it looking out here? Where are we? Where's Nuneaton? Oh, here it is. Again, I think we're going to be okay for the time being with just the one tram. We can add more later on, it's no problem. So shall we hop on board our train for our final goodbyes for this episode? Yes, let's hop on board. Let's find a nice... Oh, that's quite pleasant, isn't it? There we go. Oh, bit higher. Good, wrong key, wrong key. There we go, that's fine. So yes, thank you, as always, for watching. I hope you enjoyed the episode and you're enjoying the series. It's nice to get a passenger line on the network, even if at this point it's not very profitable. Although, as we can see in the lower left corner, we've just picked up a full load of passengers. So we've not yet taken into account our new orders for this train, because we're heading straight back to Nuneaton, but that's okay. That's where all the passengers are wanting to head to at the moment anyway. There's no one ready to go to West Ham yet. So that's all fine. Signal change there, we are clear. I should hope so, because we should be the only train on this line. Maybe just tuck in just a little bit there. There we go, that's better. So yes, all that remains for me to say is, as always, ladies and gentlemen, take very good care of yourselves. It's ta-ta.